And we're live. Good morning, guys. We're going to give a few minutes for you guys to jump on. It's Wednesday. We normally do coffee on Wednesday, so this is new for everyone. We used to do bites on Friday, so now we're doing coffee on Wednesday. Good morning and welcome. We're going to jump in just a minute. This is Startup Bytes.
I feel kind of nude without a cool background, you know, like I didn't come on early enough to figure out how to fiddle around and put a cool background, and now I just have a bunch of doors.
No, look.
Hey, at least we got.
Yes, that's our office. So now you're in our office.
Yeah, at least, and I've got at least one piece of art up here. Since we're talking about creativity, we got that from Bali. Yeah, that was cool.
Well, we're going to get started. Welcome, guys, to Season 2, Episode 1 of Startup Bytes, where we give you 5 tips in 15 minutes. If you have not seen it before, we have 15 minutes to give you goodness and all the information you're going to need to make your business amazing in 15 minutes. I am Kenesha. I'm the program manager at Startup Tucson, and this is my friend, co-host, Ryan Bell. Ryan, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Ryan Bell. I'm definitely hired as a marketing guy because of my creativity. My background, I was published as a poet at 19. I wrote my first song that got on the radio for a Grammy-winning artist. I've recently won 2 Emmys while working with NASA. And I've worked as a creative director. I've worked as a marketing director. I've worked as social media, and I've come a long way from doing some really weird stuff. And I'm finally at a point in my career where I'm getting paid to do things that I used to consider as fun. I still consider it fun.
Yay, I'm so glad to have you here. I've known Ryan for some time, and I knew to get someone who knew all the things that was going to really help grow your businesses, I needed to reach out to Ryan, and he said yes. And he is joining us from Atlanta, so the time difference is kicking us in the butt, but we're going to get this done. So Ryan, we're going to start with tip number 5. So give us your tip number 5 for creatives.
Oh, gosh. You know, I think one of the best things for us to do as creatives is to be organized. And I hate to start it off with such a boring thing, but you know, we tend to do so many different projects and really have a look at your computer. How many tabs do you have open? You know, like, what are you concentrating on? If you have too many tabs open in your computer, that means you got too many damn tabs open in your brain. I took a note from one of my coworkers, Amy, who is extremely organized, and also because I didn't want to be such a hypocrite while being on here. And I went to Target and I got this calendar so that I could start taking notes and writing down what are my 3 important things that I need to get done today, and you know, give myself something to be organized with my creativity and to be comfortable in my space. So because of this show, I also did this for myself. I bought a comfortable chair. Yeah, I bought a comfortable chair because we tend to, you know, creatives tend to not treat ourselves as well. You know, we're like, we'll just get down there and grind and try to prove ourselves because, you know, our value is in this very different bucket that we have to constantly prove. So treat yourself well and be in this area where you can organize your creativity, because I'd say that's always the hardest thing for me. Sorry, that's the most boring part of the conversation, I hope.
Well, thank you for calling me out this morning. I think I currently have 15 tabs open, and Dre always tells me, you have so many tabs. Look, my mind just works. It happens. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. So, yeah, my computer is constantly like sounds like it's about to damn take off. I think it wants to be a drone when it grows up.
Yes, I bought this fan thing to make sure it stays alive. Give us tip number 4, Ryan.
Let's see. You know, I alluded to this before, doing, you know, finally getting paid for things that you love. When I met you, I had volunteered to work at an event, and this was what, 2013, 2012.
Yeah.
So it was a long time ago, and now, after a lot of volunteering in those years, now I'm paid to be a speaker all over the world. I've got speaking engagements that I get paid good money for, and that's really exciting. Of course, I'm not able to do any of them now, but doing those fun things, like right now, as an Emmy winner, when I worked at NASA, I won multiple Emmys in the years that I was there. And now I'm able to help one of my friends, and he's paying me to run the marketing strategy to help him win an Emmy. And that's something that, like, I would do for free, but realize what you do for free that nobody else can do. And then really think about how much time it's going to take, and charge people. Just because you're good at it and you love it and it's your friend, it doesn't mean that you should do it for free. And if your wife or your husband or your partner or whatever is telling you that, listen to them. Your time is very valuable, and as creatives, we don't realize that a lot of times.
So guys, make sure you're valuing yourself and charging what you would normally charge, even though you're your friends, and do what you love and charge for that, because you are worth the money that people will put out for it.
Yeah, I can tell everybody in here is super valuable and super worthy. I mean, we really are. So that's my tip.
Okay, so let's go to tip number 3. What's your tip number 3?
Get away from the computer, get away from social, get away from screens. Seth Godin recently had a post about taking 4 hours to meditate and to be alone. And I was like, where in the hell am I going to find 4 hours? But I'm going to, damn it. I put it on my calendar for next week. Get away, because your creativity comes from this special well, and it doesn't come out of the computer. You can be inspired by other things, but you've got this thing where if you spend some time alone, breathe some fresh air, and are healthy, then it will come to you. I used to have this fault where I would sit down and just try to beat the muse out of me. Like I'm like, it's gonna come. I'm gonna write poetry. I'm gonna write this. And that never worked. And then when I kind of let it go and I just did my own thing, I just found myself like, okay, I need to do this now. It'll come to you. And if you let it, and if you're nice to it. So that brings me on to my next tip. And this is a tip that's actionable. There's a book called The Artist's Way. It's by Julia Cameron. And she gives you this, it's basically a month of direction, and it doesn't matter what kind of creative you are. If you're a musician, if you're a painter, if you're a sculptor, if you're a writer, whatever. I think a lot of us are going to be considered to be writers. It gives you a framework to do, like, stream of consciousness writing in the morning, and it gives you some ways to kind of think. So buy that book from Julia Cameron. It's called The Artist's Way. Or if you don't want to spend the $14 or whatever, just in the morning when you're having your coffee, have a notebook next to you and let yourself write. It doesn't matter what you write. If you're writing blah, blah, blah over and over again until you finally start writing whatever's coming to your mind, stream of consciousness writing is kind of like flushing out all the filth, or pushing out all the lactic acid in your muscle. That way you can get this free flowing of ideas, and then the next time that you're at the whiteboard at your job, or you're working, or you're doing a presentation, then you're not all creativity and marketing constipated. It's really important to be healthy. It's true, man. You get blocked, and it's the same crap as crap. It's just in a different way.
one, creativity constipated. Okay, so tip number 3 was to get outside and step away from your computer. And that rolled into our tip number 2, which is talking about journaling and letting it out. So you will not be creativity marketing constipated. Put that on the t-shirt, Ryan. Put it on the t-shirt.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be constipated, man. That sucks. Like in any way, right? Let's just. I think we should have changed the title for this one.
We will change the title. Okay, so what is your number 1 tip for creatives? And then I want to hear more about what you're doing because I know you're up to some cool stuff.
Okay. I always think what's my carrot? You know, what's my carrot? What am I trying to go towards? Have yourself a treat at the end of the day, whether it is going out for a walk or a run or having coffee or whatever it is. Remember that you're working towards something, and remember that constantly. One of my close friends is going through a divorce, and he's got to do all this paperwork. Boy, this is a downer subject. Sorry, but what I told him, I was like, give yourself a party or give yourself something. You know, buy yourself the new iPhone when it comes out, when you're done with all this.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be for everything that we have to get through every day, especially during a pandemic. We don't know when 5:00 p.m. comes anymore. We don't know when 6:00 p.m. comes. Every day is the damn same. So give yourself that time. Give yourself that time that you say, oh, I get to go meditate. I get to go get on the Peloton. I get to go and pet my cat. I get to go outside and shoot a BB gun. I don't know what the hell you do, but do something that is good for you and that brings you joy at the end of your day, that closes you out from your work. Because as a creative, you have a hard time closing any of the books that you got open, any of the tabs you got open. So preach, what? That's it.
Drop the mic. Okay, let's just, for the 5 tips that we went over, 5 was to organize your brain space. 4 is to get paid for what you do, even though it's your friends. You don't have to work for free, even though it's fun. Tip number 3 was to get outside and step away from your computer. Tip number 2 was to journal, to let it all out so you don't get marketing constipated. And tip number 1 was to do something to bring yourself joy at the end of the day. So what is that reward? What is your carrot? So Ryan, tell us what you got going on, buddy.
All right, this is cool. And I'm really happy that we're talking about this now. So I work for Comcast Sports Tech, which is an accelerator for basically creative people that are working in startups that are building the way that we bring back sports. So these technologies can have all kinds of innovation. It can be VR and all that nerdy stuff that I love. It can be media. It can be live streaming stuff like StreamYard or attaching. And so as we look at things like the NBA bubble and all the technologies that are allowing fans and audiences to get back to doing what they love and what they love to watch, that's what we're doing. So right now we have the application deadline this Saturday. So if you know any startups that are working in sports, or if you are, or if your startup works in that space, look at our accelerator program and see if it's a fit for you, because it connects with everything from NASCAR to golf, and it's just really cool stuff. And so follow us at Comcast Sport, or look at the website comcastsportstech.com to find out more, or just hit me directly. So that's it. That's it. What else? Are we all done? Because that seemed like it was like 2 minutes.
You got another minute. Tell us about the accelerator you're working with in Atlanta.
So that is the accelerator. That is the accelerator in Atlanta. So it is in the Comcast building that looks over Brave Stadium. So if you are a startup, we are starting that program next year in February, but the application deadline is this Saturday. So get on there, do the application deadline, reach out to me if you need any help. But go and share that, because we're trying to do this final push to get folks on. And I think it's a special time in sports. And I don't know how many people have been following it, but I was just on a call with Television Academy. So that's one of my fun things. I'm a Television Academy member. I've been like one of the co-chairs there in interactive media. And that's amazing because you get to see what people are doing and how they're achieving these goals. So yeah, it's really, really neat stuff.
Perfect. I love what you're doing. You've grown so much since I first met you, and you're doing some cool stuff. You're an amazing person anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But send me the information. I will get it out to our group. Guys, thank you for joining us for our first episode of season 2 for Startup Bytes. We have some stuff coming up. The Fundamental series starts next Tuesday, so if you haven't registered for that, make sure you register for that. We have Bytes again next Wednesday with someone new. We have Innovation Economics Excel it next Thursday, August 20th, and that one's going to be a really good one, so make sure you register on our website because that will be via Zoom. Brian, thank you again for joining us. Stay on, and we will see you guys next